Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 5 of the BJ Destruction League. Today, we have two teams battling it out for supremacy, and then right after that, we got two more teams battling it out for even more supremacy, and an all-kill, best of 5 format. So we have a lot of StarCraft to get through today, and I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that this is going to be an exceptional display of skill by all players involved here, as we have some of the top names in Korea battling out in this series. Start things off, we have the team of Dark Impact and Armani going up against, let me just see here. Going to be going up against Patience one-man team. So that is made up of Ragnarok, Super, and of course the man himself, Patience. So that one is something you got to look forward to. We'll have to see if we can get that far. It may just be a sweep. You know, we have some amazing players here, and we'll have to see if they can get through their comrades. Because included in this lineup is players going to going to BlizzCon, players who have been in the GSL for a long time, and players who have really shown and outshone their opponents in many different fantastic ways. Now I'm gonna make sure try not to put my cursor over the screen as much because I keep forgetting that it's not actually the game. But it looks like we are starting to get things underway here. Just have to kind of wait for the stream to catch up. But while that is going on, we can talk a little bit more about these players. Obviously, from Team Burn Park, Dark is the real big one to look out for. He is one of the best Zerg players in the world, especially in Korea, and he is looking to really cement himself in the scene once again. He's done it before, and he does it again and again and again. So that is going to be a very fun series to watch as you see how far he can make it versus his opponent. Um, Still kind of waiting on some more information here. We're gonna kind of just watch the stream a little bit And we actually do have a little bit of information here. If you kind of take a look at the overview, it's a 3 versus 3 format, and total prize pool for this is 1.366 1,396,900 won. Unfortunately, I can't really read this, but if you can read it, some good info here for you. And here, obviously, is the schedule. We have on the 22nd today, day 5. Tomorrow is going to be day 6, and that is going to be some very fun games as well. I believe those have been decided already. Patience one-man team is the second match tomorrow, and the other 2 matches obviously going to be fantastic as well. A little bit of a break before continuing on with day 7 and 8 on November 6th and 7th after BlizzCon is complete, because some of these players do actually have to go for the big money. And here are the standings right now. Busan Park 2 is currently in the lead with 3 match wins, and I believe their map score is pretty good as well. Yeah, only dropping 1 map in this entire season. Below them, we have the team led by Rogue, Innovation, and True. Not the best map score, currently 7 and 6 at second place, but they still have a +1 percentage point going up in this series. Behind them, we have even like another great team. We have Patience one-man team. If these standings are correct here. But yeah, just taking a look at all the different players in this series, just looking at some of the top there, just getting so many different all kills. Obviously, yesterday we saw DRG go absolute ham and take down all 3 of his opponents for his own all kill today. A lot of Zergs getting the all kill, so we will have plenty of opportunity for that to happen, as we have a lot of Zergs here. Dark and Impact, obviously the Zergs for first team, and Ragnarok, and Ragnarok being the Zerg for the second. Now we're kind of just getting the first couple of steps out of the way while they kind of work on who's going to go out first and what the order is going to be. Obviously, they want to send. You got to think. Do you want to send out your best player first and risk something happening in such a way that he's not going to be able to play the rest of the series, and you're going to have to kind of struggle to get back into it? But you know what? We're actually just going to hop into the first game. It's going to be Armani and Patience, a PVZ for the ages. So it looks to be things starting out pretty standard here. Not really seeing anything too crazy out of these guys just yet. Out of these 2, I think Patience would have a bit more edge in terms of the, like, kind of in terms of what people would think of who would win. Armani, obviously still a very good Zerg player, but Patience just kind of been on a roll, especially with his teammates, working very hard in the team house or wherever he does live, trying to get to that next stage. But, you know, at this time of year, it's really starting to wind down for the higher level play as BlizzCon does come up. I believe, I don't want to say tomorrow, but I do know that it's coming up very, very soon, maybe even this weekend, where a lot of the big names are kind of wanting to hide their strategies and kind of hide new builds so that they don't lose out on that huge prize pool in Anaheim. So right now, both sides are just going to go pretty darn standard here. Patient's even going to be very cheeky and just prevent that third base from going up for as long as possible. And this is one of the most annoying things you can do in the early game as Protoss is just prevent that from going up. But it will go down in the end, as all Zerg buildings do. And it kind of just looks like it's still kind of hard to tell. We'll have to see what Patience decides to go off the back of this. He's got an Adept, and he has the Twilight Council as well. So he is looking to be possibly a bit more aggressive than usual, as he will be able to have a couple different options here. He can do Blink Stalkers. He can get Adept Glaives, just send a huge amount of Adepts across the map. Or even behind it, he can even go for DT drops if he is so inclined. And it's actually going to be a Glaives build here, which means this Stalker coming out is actually even more important. He has to make sure that he does not get vision of this, although I do think this is already scouted out. Speed has been complete on the Overseer, or Overlord rather, and that is enough to kind of scout that something is going on. You can almost assume that it's Adept Glaives, because Charge is a bit too early for that. And you can see that there are additional gateways coming down as well. So overall, a very nice scout by Armani. Just going to be able to kind of make his next step as he gets that Roach Warren down for the defense. Now with two Adepts, this is a little bit trickier as these guys can bounce around. It's kind of just start a little bit of a pool. We got the Robo Bay as well. This is a huge committal out of Patience here. He has to feel confident in his ability to get some damage done. Otherwise, he will not be able to kill this Zerg. And really, he is on a timer with this almost, because as that Roach count grows and as he's able to spread out more between his bases, it's going to be harder and harder to get damage done. So overall, he's got to get something done with this. He just can't afford to sit back and pump out Adepts and not send them across. Although he is waiting for the robotics facility so that he can get that War Prism out. But that might be delaying him a little bit longer here, as his Adepts are only just now moving out across the map. They've had Glaives for a little bit now. Yeah, he's going to start out, but the Roaches are on top of things to get things started out. Patience's expansion is going to be delayed as well, since we do have those Lings just kind of prowling around, making it difficult to move out from here. Not even going to get a Prism right now. He is instead just going to make sure that he can get some Immortals, because he knows that Roach count is just going to be growing exponentially here. Also have a DT Shrine. That's a very nice little choice, but there is detection at all of these bases. Really, this aggressive Adept play not really coming to fruition here, so that is a bit of a waste of Glaives, I feel, because he was not able to get too much done, and it seems like Armani's the one who wants to kind of do the tricky plays here. The Overseer will complete, and he will get a nice big old scout, so Armani just having an absolute field day with getting information. Although he does not spot the DT Shrine, that is one of the most important things you need to scout. And he will maybe just barely see it with the Lings, but no. He actually just has no vision of this whatsoever. Even the Zerglings just being a nuisance all over the place, barely being pushed back here, as Patience trying to do some counter damage, but he's just keeps getting caught by Armani's vision. And look at this, the roaches just know exactly where to go. There's no Ravagers, however, so there is no anti-air, which means that that prism is safe for the time being, and these lings actually starting to get cleaned up as well. But, I mean, overall, just Armani's in a very nice position here. It's going for Archon drops as well. The roaches are going to be important for that. It's going to keep them at home for the most part, but overall, it's just like Patience. He wants to pull the trigger, and you can kind of tell with just how far he is out on the map, but he's not finding those pivotal angles to do so. Even look at this, a little corruption. Gonna go down, keep that immortal count lower. There's only 3 on the map right now, and you know, it's still anyone's game. I can say that for certain, but Armani is just powering up, even getting that Lurker Den on the way. He's just playing very good PvZ right now, has not taken any damage, and is stopped at 66 workers, so he's not going up to that 80, but he has more than enough to get done what he needs to. Even picking off a couple of roaches here, trying to do what he can is Patience. But he might actually just lose the Archons as the War Prism not paying attention, so a big misstep there by Patience. Actually going for Disruptors, that is interesting. It will be very good against the Lurker Den, and I don't hate it, but we'll have to see if Armani can split his units efficiently enough to prevent those kind of losses. And if he can spread out those Lurkers, he's going to have a very nice position, especially since Patience is the one who needs to fight into him. And look at this, one force field going to go down, and that is just going to get cleaned up. But picking off the Overlords, actually supply blocking Armani a little bit here, and this is not the best position to fight in as Armani. He needs to use those biles to keep the force fields clear. Forgot to put on the music. Yeah, Patience still not really moving in here as Armani's going to be going for a little bit of a counterattack, forcing some units home. Warped in at home, a couple of DTs. That dip's getting taken out as well. And both sides just really kind of just being a nuisance here. Great pick off there. A couple of lurkers going down for absolutely free. And here we go, Patience getting these little warp pins, but unfortunately he's warping in right on top of the army, even losing the War Prism. DT's doing what they can. There was no focus fire on those roaches, so they will not get a lot done. And now once again we see Patience just trying to get a good position. The lurker is just forcing him to really play this defensively, even when he's on the attack, as he can't really move down the ramp without proper vision. He only has one observer with this army, and I kind of like that he's getting this Oracle, actually. Couple disruptor shots coming down as well, gonna do what they can. Focuses on the Lings before going down, and he's actually trapped here. He'd have to go all the way around, and before he can, he would lose his 4th base. A couple of Zealots being warped in, but the lurkers back at home going to prevent this from really getting anything done. 14 probes going down, excuse me, sorry. And it's just the lurkers. There's no vision right now. He needs a revelation or something. Even losing units for free here. This is absolutely horrendous for his army, which did get recalled back in the 3rd base. Yeah, he's going to need a lot more hits like that if he wants to clean this up, as he Really just needs to warp in, warp in, warp in to survive at this point. He's not even making what he wants to. Not even really making too much that's good against the army of Armani just skyrocketing ahead here in this first game. But these disruptor hits are what's keeping Patience in it for the long haul. Just amazing shots, picking off big chunks of the Zerg army. That's one kind of thing. One thing there for Armani, he's not really able to split up his units well against this. So that is how Patience is fighting back. A little bit more vision on this main army. A lot of force field energy, a lot of choke points that he can fight into to really utilize that. But here we go. The little run-bys getting picked off before they can really get anything done. The lurkers, once again, just in that position. That's very hard to move into. I think they do have speed burrow, so they are going to be that much more scary when they land. The disruptor hits coming on out, only getting a Hydralisk for their trouble. So behind this, Patience isn't relying on these disruptor hits, which is good, but unfortunately he might just lose a lot of units here by this speed bar. There we go, a lot of abduct energy here. Might lose a couple of immortals, and those are the big tanky units that you need to deal with this. As the Nidus is going down in the main base as well. Oh no, this is just not going Patience's way here right now. And as his main base is under siege, all of his tech units are going to be going down. There's not really any way he can get up this ramp easily. Even the lurkers back at home preventing Zealot run-bys. And he's just gonna go across the map. Like, he's very indecisive here. Yeah, at first he was gonna go across the map, and then he just decides at the last minute to come back over, but by then the damage is already done. Even having to depower a lot of his own buildings. And yeah, he just lost so many different tech structures here. It's going to be very difficult to get back. Nexus just barely going down before the Lings get taken out. Now he can just bounce between this location and the third base. As long as there's vision, there will be these Nidus worms coming out. And really, Armani can just afford to pop them anywhere and everywhere. Here we go once again. See, the disruptors actually not going to fire off. A lot of them actually going to go down before they can get any damage done, and that is not good, especially since he's losing the immortals behind all of this. He's wanting to get that mothership core, but by then he's going to lose a second base, and even the Nexus in the main going down. The War Prism died off, and Patience is just not going to be able to push this position efficiently, as Armani can just come home at any time, even after sniping all of these tech buildings. So I think Armani has actually done it, as the supply of Patience is plummeting. 9 more workers going down, and that number is just going to keep on keeping on. So GG, Armani takes game number 1 in this all-kill best-of-5 format. He will go up against the next player in the lineup, so we will have to see who that's going to be. As I believe the first map is chosen by the commentators, them, as you can see on the left over here. And then after that, it's loser pick. So I have to see, what do they pick? I really like the little background stuff they're doing there, though. You know, usually you would have just a regular casting desk, but these guys are in a forest and it's on fire, really showing that the BJ Destruction Cup is fully its own thing. Over 5 million at stake here. That's won, not dollars. Still a very nice payday for these guys, and it should get you through the year. Not the year, but could get you through the little BlizzCon blues. Happens every year afterward. After BlizzCon, there's not really too much high-level StarCraft going on. But yeah, just waiting on the decisions to be made. The real question is, what do you send out versus a Zerg who just showed your Protoss the business end of his swarm? You do have one more Protoss in your lineup, Super, but might be more prudent to send out Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok would have the better chance in this situation. If you guys are enjoying this series, you will enjoy the second series as well. Steamed Bun Bang, made up of Rogue, Innovation, and True, is going to be going up against Woke Up to This, Trap, Bunny, and Alive. So 2 awesome matches. Wait. Oh, pardon me. This is the wrong description. I'm trying to... a lot of stuff is a little bit out of date here. Excuse me about that, guys. Yeah, still kind of just waiting for the decision to be made. You know, they're obviously talking it out. They're really working hard to decide who's going to be going up next. And actually, we're just going to get right into it. Up here in the top, they have chosen Super to be their champion. And after that, they have Monty coming back out, looking to extend his lead. Now, the big question is Super going to be more aggressive than Patience was in that last game? After seeing how Armani played against a relatively slow-moving Protoss strategy there. Obviously, in PvZ, you do want to get a little bit of damage done, kind of force him to remake drones early in the game, kind of slow down his army production, and kind of just be a nuisance in that sense, you know, force his micro abilities to be taxed. But, you know, overall, he's just doing the standard Protoss stuff. It's got the Cybernetics core to almost complete as well. Just one more gateway will do it. And from there, Armani is just going to expand unhindered to that very easy to take third base on Thunderbird. Now, this was Super's map choice, so Super must have something planned for this map so that he can do well. Thunderbird, a very kind of interesting map, as you do have 3 very easy to take third bases, especially as Zerg when you can take them nice and early. But it is going to be Starport production, or Stargate production for Super. And that's just Super. Another warp gate tech as well coming out. One thing Armani has just been very good at is scouting so far. He has just really invested in that early Overlord speed and done very well in making sure that he has full vision of the map and on what his opponent is doing. He spotted the Stargate and now he's just gonna kind of see how far Super decides to go with it. The Stargate play, like in the later stages, has fallen out of favor. A lot of time you will just get that Stargate and get a Phoenix and an Oracle to kind of clear up Overlords and then transition into Twilight Robo, which is more standard. But there are some players who still enjoy getting a lot of Phoenix to kind of go across the map and harass the opponent to death. I don't think that's going to happen with Super, but you know, I've been pleasantly surprised before. And now there we go. We got the Robo facility coming down behind all of this. There is no Twilight Council, however. The Oracle as well, just trying to get some kills. He's only got one to his name, and the Queen's doing a very good job of forcing that guy out of position as he goes up to his lair and the Roach Warren. So all is good with the world. Even trying to get a cheeky Overlord kill. Not going to get it. Looks like he is gearing up for a possible push here as he's got a lot of sentries just building up that force field energy, which will be very good if you can get into some of the choke points on this map. There are a lot of ramps where you can just absolutely decimate an opponent by preventing their army from attacking. Setting up these stages traps, I love this. This is actually just kind of giving himself a little bit of a safety net in case Armani wants to chase into them. And it's really just going to give him a little bit of breathing room to retreat in case this attack goes terribly wrong. There's not a lot of firepower with this army just yet, but Blink is on the way. And look at that, he's even just preventing the army from coming down. Yeah, right now he's just going to be warping in more Stalkers, trying to kill off these Overseers, because last game, remember, in the later stages, we did see that Nidus Worm, so killing off the Vision is super important. That's not killing off Vision, that's just being annoying. I actually got caught in one of the stasis traps, which is pretty nice. Although the thing about the stasis traps is you only really fall for it once. Once that card is played, you can't really, it's not really going to work again. As you can kind of see, he only took a couple of lings to set them off, and yeah, once again he's just kind of moving in. And instead of Disruptors, he's going to be going for Colossus this game. He sees that there are a lot of lings in play, and Ravagers as well. So just getting that splash damage is going to be much more effective than burst damage. Although he does have to be careful because Armani is already moving out with a big drop on the, not a drop, but a big move out of lings, designed to pull him back, but getting caught in the stasis trap. This is fantastic out of Super, and it's already slowing Armani down heavily. The army supply still heavily in his favor, but the thing is that gap is closing very, very quickly as both players are approaching max out, as it's just nothing but units, units, units at this point. Oh, the run by getting cut in half, and that's going to make it so much easier for these zealots to clean house. Charge is almost complete as well. And with the lance, he can start moving out a lot more, as there is a little bit of damage going on in the main base of the Zerg. I think a prism may have made it in there, or that could have just been scouting, of course. But picking off the run by, Super is feeling pretty confident, I bet. Although now we do have Hive on the way with lurkers as well, so really we'll have to see what he can get done with this army, because there's not really that much tankiness to it. It's only really the gateway units and a couple of colossi, not even a third one, and that's kind of the magic number here. So moving in is going to be very difficult. But Money does force the recall of the entire army for the price of a few units that he can easily remake. Even sniping the War Prism, that is a very nice pickoff. So both sides' economy have been relatively untouched during all of this. So it's like what that means is that both sides can really just max out a lot quicker. They can get their tech structures up, and they're gonna make it. It's gonna just kind of make it hard, because neither side's really been able to get that good damage done in a way to kind of cripple their opponent. Catching the Zealot run by is very nice. But that is going to leave these lurkers exposed. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have enough to commit to that. Even losing, I think that was a Colossus actually, going down to the Rage and Fire. Yeah, he did not lose a Colossus, but that was still a very bad trade. Kind of tells him he's not going to be able to make it through there without some sort of immortal play. If Super can hold on for the next couple of minutes, he's going to be in a fantastic position, just because he does have that double Stargate built up. He has a lot of tech buildings that he can produce out of. And overall, this is the move Armani needs to make, though. The Immortals going down, those are very expensive and going to make it very difficult to replace those units. But the Stalkers, nice spread on the units here. The Concave, not good enough for Armani. He is going to get pushed back here, but without detection, you cannot fight into those lurkers any longer. So a big misstep here from Super, actually. Going to cost him more units than he really should have lost. So his run by is doing fantastic as well. Getting one of those bases, one of those expansions. And yeah, the game has equalized once again. Mass Void Ray, that one is quite the choice here. Counter it, we are going to have some fungal boys coming on out. So Super kind of just regrouping his forces here. Armani not really feeling confident with his army to move out just yet either. Both players are pretty much maxed out, and it's really kind of who's going to blink first here. As Armani's going to be moving in once again, he needs to split up these lings in a way that he can just make it a piggyback ride. But Super says, I'm not having any of that. He's going to go for it. I don't think he has recall available to him just yet. I think he's still holding off for he can get it. Still, okay, he does have detection with this army. But those fungals just doing a lot of damage to all of this. Losing the infestors though, that is pretty big. And we're on a full-on base trade situation, although Super starting to get pushed back here. Losing those Colossus to the Adepts. There's not much more he can fight with this. The DT doing what he can, but he is 1 DT versus a Nidus Worm and a bunch of Lings. Alright, his buddies came out to help him out. He still has a lot of very powerful units, does Super. Like, you can't really disparage this army well at all. But here we go once again. The lurkers are burrowed up. A couple of stalkers get caught on the wrong side of things, and it's an absolute massacre. Armani just doing what he can to bring this up to game number 2 and match point for his team. Doing a swell job of it. Just a very quick, very clean series. I think it's only taken about 30 minutes here so far. So yeah, the thing is, the base is already under fire from Armani. He's cleaning up shop, forcing Super to come back and defend against it, which means he's wasting valuable time. He did get a base, but Armani just takes 2 in spite of everything. And it's just those lurkers. He didn't really have the units he needed to counter those. Although, a little bit of a mistake here by Armani. He's got the Nidus Worm back up. He needs to save those lurkers from certain destruction. Although it might not even matter here, as those Colossus are the very last thing that Super has out on the map right now. Good schizo run by Armani. And once again, Super is just going to be trying to push in and get this damage done. The lurker's spread is very nice. Although there is detection with this, that will get taken out. But the lurker's actually just going to get right on top of the Colossus, do massive amounts of damage. Lings looking to clean up, but those Colossus are not having it just yet. Now they start to fall when the Hydralisks show up. Like, this is not really a situation where you can stutter step micro here. You need to save those units. They're too expensive to replace. You just don't have the gas income to deal with it. And once again, we're going to see him pulling up the ramp here. Insta-burrowing him like that, making this position uninhabitable, as well as this 4th place, which is not mining. His income is just in the toilet right now. Ability to mine. Sorry guys, I have a little bit of tiredness. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night just because studies and stuff. But yeah, he needs to wait for detection before we can take this on. Now that the observer's here, he can finally start mining from this position again. But Armani is just being relentless here. Continuously pushing in. Continuously keeping his opponent on edge and continuously picking off 10 plus workers and the most vital bases. So Super down double the supply even. He's going to do one final attack here and then he's going to call it quits. Can he finish it with the very few units that he has? And yeah, with this army going on down, that's going to be a GG. Armani takes game number 2 and will be going to the ace match for his team. So good start to the day for him. Means Ragnarok's going to have to come out here and do the all-kill reverse sweep. Very difficult. It's definitely doable, but you know, Armani's not even the best player in this lineup. You know, you still have Dark to contend with. You still have Impact. So overall, beating Armani means you're kind of opening up a bigger can of worms for you. But we will have to see what map is chosen by Super's team. It is going to be a ZVZ for this next game. And we'll have to see if this is going to be a fast one because, you know, sometimes when you get into these situations where you're 2-0 in a best of 5, sometimes you just like to throw a little bit of cheddar in there, kind of make things go along a little bit quicker so that you can just go home and be done for the day. But we are just waiting for the map choice and the selection. I hope everyone's day is going well. My day is going fantastic, and we're actually just going to hop right into it. So enough jibber jabber, ladies and gentlemen. Spawning down here in the bottom, it's Chivo's Ragnarok. And over here, in bottom position, it is Armani. So neither side going to go too aggressive just yet, but to keep in mind, in a ZVZ, you still have the aggression to kind of stop worker production at 35 to 50, and then just absolutely swarm your opponent with lings, or even roaches if you're feeling so inclined. Little Ewok dancing in the center there. Pretty standard, pretty equal builds out of both sides. Really comes down to, are we going to even see that part of the game where Ling Wars happen and just get a ton of Banelings and such? Everything is very crisp, very clean for these guys so far. You can tell that they've practiced this very simple parts of their build order, and that they are ready to go, and they are hungry for the win. If Armani does it, he gets the full all kill. And if Ragnarok stops him, he has a chance to take back his fortunes and take back his team's lives. Now we see the third base going out for Armani. Ragnarok is going to fall behind here just a little bit later, a couple seconds. And I mean, not that many lings. There we go. Armani's going to be the first one to get that Baneling nest up and running. So I think he is going to be the aggressor here in a little bit. Although Ragnarok already scouts this out, and he does get a reaction Baneling nest of his own. Yeah, Ragnarok already reacting, getting 18 more lings to defend against. Speed finally complete for both sides as well, so they can kind of dance around each other a little bit more. So behind all this, Ragnarok is not really all in with it. He's just going to try and put some damage done onto the third base. Maybe get a couple of banelings. He does not get them in. Will have to back up for the time being. You just got to be so careful here, because one baneling hit and your entire army goes bye-bye just like that. Look at that connection. Still has the army supply lead here as he's going up to 6 more workers. Or 6 more lings, however. It still just has really good map vision and trying to tabs on his opponent. You see roaches on the way for both sides here. So I'm just keeping a couple of banelings at home. He's got to micro these very well to make sure that they don't detonate on just one baneling. Ragnarok trying to get a run by started as well, but he's going to have to settle for a couple of lings in front. Actually going to be Spire play out of Ragnarok. We'll have to see how heavily he commits to that. One thing that players do like to do is just get 5 or 6 Mutalisks and then pump out the roaches. Try and force an overreaction out of your opponent to build a lot of Queen or a lot of Overlords, or just anything that shoots up. Not Overlords. They don't shoot up. They don't really shoot much at all. But yeah, you know, these guys starting to square up a little bit more. Sorry for the kind of small pauses here. I'm trying to recollect myself. I'm having some trouble with some cold issues. But ooh, Armani has a very powerful push here. The Nidus Canal, his bread and butter in this series, is on the way, and he might not even need it. He just has so many roaches now. He's forcing Ragnarok to make just an absolute ton to keep up with the Joneses. Trying to get a Nidus in the main base, but that's not going to be any dice. Yeah, trying to get in there, not gonna get too much. But we'll get maybe a cancel. Maybe a cancel on the fourth. And he does indeed get that, but the Ravager's gonna prevent that Nice Worm from going up, and Armani's starting to struggle here. Even with that +1 attack, he just doesn't have the roach count. It doesn't have that advantage he thought he would. Currently 35 to 29. You know, here we go. We got Armani coming right on top of this. Ragnarok doing what he can. He's got a couple of flying boys, these Mutmuts, but they're not really able to penetrate the armor that well. As finally the first couple of drones are going down throughout all of this, and Armani is just everywhere at once. He is exactly where he needs to be at all times. But the Knights does go off. A couple of roaches come in. Will it be enough? It does not look like it, but there is still anyone's game here. As the second Knight is going to come up once again. And Ark trying to be sneaky here. But, Armani trying to be sneaky, however. But unfortunately for him, that's not where the fourth base is located anymore. The Queens, however, very nice addition, going to be poking away at these Mulisks. And yeah, these Night Swims just keep trying to go down, but they're not in the best hidden positions. So Armani is just focusing on himself. Excuse me. Armani is kind of just focusing on trading out attacks and winning in the long haul here. As his reinforcement is going to be coming up a little bit late. He's fighting into a really awkward choke point as well. So it's really hard to say who's the winner here. Ragnarok's upgrade lead is just very exponential at this point. Once again, we see that Nice Worm coming in, and he's going to get a little bit of damage done. Pick off some of the queens, which would be nice. But actually, that's just going to be too much for Armani. He's going to GG out. So it is back to a series, ladies and gentlemen. Question is, who are they going to send out now? Ragnarok is the last lifeline for his team. But Armani has Dark and Impact waiting in the wings. Impact has been around for absolutely ages, and Dark, I mean, everyone knows Dark at this point as one of the best Zergs in the world. His ZVZ is absolutely legendary. They're kind of just discussing it a little bit. Another ZVZ, obviously, as well. It's going to be ZVZs for the rest of this series. So I think the big thing here is which map is going to be picked as well. We still have a little bit of time here. They're kind of just deciding before really getting into the nitty-gritty of things. But I think they're about to start the map. Maybe. They're still talking. But you can see over there, they are the Korean casters. We are watching this. We're technically watching their stream while casting it. But yeah, if you speak Korean and you want to check out the BJ Destruction League from their point of view, check them out on their page. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know how to spell their name because it's in Korean. But yeah, good. It's just good stuff all around. I'm very happy that events like this exist, especially in Korea, where a lot of tournaments can be very top heavy. So it's really difficult for some players to really make their mark. Okay, I think a map was selected. Almost thought the game was starting there for a second. Sorry, guys. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, unfortunately. So I might look like I'm dozing off a little bit. That's not because these games are boring. These games are so epic. They're the only thing keeping me awake at this point. Pure, unadulterated StarCraft rage. And here we go. It's going to be dark. They're sending out the big guns to finish things off. They really want to end this on a high note, so they're sending out the big guns. And will it be enough for Ragnarok? Already we do see pretty similar stuff actually, but you know, that can change at the blink of a hat. But once again, remember that some of these guys might be hiding things for BlizzCon. Even if they're not going to BlizzCon, they might still just kind of want to hide things in case of next year. Or they might want to help out a teammate or something with these hidden builds. So they're not being too crazy in these series. Just kind of straightforward macro games. Showing what they got. And seems to be working for them. We haven't seen that much deviation from Zerg side either. Excuse me. Equal on every single front. These guys know what they are doing. Still way too early to tell though what they are doing. Okay. So still no real deviation here. I'm just looking at these production tabs and they are almost exactly the same. Maybe one more overlord for dark. Because he got supply block there for a second. And yeah, I can't really say too much about it. Because they're just gonna be taking a third base. And a little ring around the rosy as well. Never hurt anybody until these guys catch each other and bite each other to pieces. Dark also just getting this kind of confirmation on this base. Ragnarok gonna see pretty much everything around here. Got pretty good map vision as well. But we do see the ban list coming down. Ragnarok has full vision that this is coming, and he's actually just gonna morph a couple of same banelings at home. But here we go, Dark gonna be coming in. The Banelings, however, doing a very good job of getting those detonations and pushing him back. And Dark struggling there to get the micro in, losing more than he has to in that situation. Okay, so ooh, excuse me guys, sorry. Still not really too much going on here, just little very small skirmishes across the map. Dark is still being the aggressor though, so it's kind of good worked for it. Overachiever. I don't think anyone said overachiever. The other side really wants to get those. Really wants to stay on Baneling. They both have to work. All dependent on did they use them in their entirety, or they do something cheeky last game when Ragnarok threw down a special. Some of those masks streets have been pretty funny recently. Ooh, actually hiding the spire, I really like this. So there's a couple of Mews still flying around, getting some good scouting information done. Can I? That yes, I can. There you go, boss man. And you know, Ragnarok's still kind of just cycling around here. It's got a Nidus and a, or speaking off the Nidus of Dark, making sure that Dark does not have that ability to kind of just be free out on the map. And the Mulisks as well, just preventing as much damage as possible. Or vision as possible, as these overlords have to be consistently remade. Lurker Den is down as well, but Ragnarok does not want to wait. And here we go. Of the Baneleys just rolling on in. These Roach count falling significantly, not taking those biles like he was, like Dark would be hoping for, and that count is just falling. The Nidus in the main base of Ragnarok as well, just doing wonders for this push. And now the Roach one is down, so reinforcements are going to be few and far between. I think Ragnarok has done it. Look at that, he even cancels so many of the building Roaches. It's going to kill off this base. 18 workers going down. And the Mulis just wreaking havoc for all these units that cannot shoot up. Oh my gosh, I think Ragnarok is going to be taking down Dark, although he does miss the eggs there. And he will be moving on to a final match point, the final map of this series. It's all up to Ragnarok, and it is all up to Impact to finish this out. So, like, we know our players, we just need to know our map. A little bit of deliberation going on between these guys. They just kind of want to talk between the teammates. What is the best reason? What is the best thing to do here? How are they going to do it? And yeah, we should be seeing the map choice pretty soon here. Still kind of just waiting on that map choice. It's another ZVZ, so it's really hard to say which map's going to be the best. Obviously, any of the bigger maps are going to allow for a much longer playstyle, but who knows? You might not want to go that late. You saw what happened when Ragnarok kind of hit his stride. But we'll be finding out right about now, as in the top it's Impact, and in the bottom it's Ragnarok. On a map I like to call Bridgehead Light. It's Ephemeron. And these guys are out for blood. Looks like it's just going to be gasless openings into the very standard hatch. Yeah, not much we can say about this one, you know? Neither side has really taken any risks in this series, as it's really just been the same thing over and over again, you know? Spires, we've had Spires from Ragnarok doing some good work. We've had the Roach plays, and yeah, the Protoss players getting taken out relatively quickly. I'm going to be very impressed here if Ragnarok actually manages to finish things out here. Impact can be quite the aggressive player. I don't know what's being said there. Maybe a little bit of banter. Both sides really just equal on every front right now. Ragnarok falling behind in worker count, but I mean, that is easily taken care of here with this next round. And yeah, both sides just going to expand. Third base is a little bit farther away. It's a little bit more difficult to defend, but you know, there's not really anything out on the field for these two guys. But however, we do see that Ragnarok is getting that very early Evo chamber. And I don't think that's just for a wall off. I think like we are going to see maybe +1 Ling all in. That would be my guess. And on the back of this, we do see Dark going to be going up for that fast lair. Plus a ton of Lings behind all of this. But it is just a +1 missile attack. And after scouting out how many units are on the way, he is just going to go straight for that third base after some deliberation, and he might actually just get that, which would be fantastic. He's going to look to do a little bit of damage here, find a weak spot in the wall, but he's not going to find one just yet. But the War one is almost complete here. Lair finishing up as well, so maybe he's going to be able to throw down a nice. There is a lot of room in the main base to do so, but yeah, I mean, it's still anyone's guess on how he's going to approach this, as Ragnarok will be going for the double upgrades. I think he didn't cancel it, but it does look like his +1 is actually starting to line up with Dark's. Although he will get the +1 defense as well behind all this, so his units are just going to be so much better. Oh, the wall is down. A couple of queens are going to be going down for free here, forcing the Lings back at home. And a big scout coming up here, as he does not want to lose his Lings just yet. So he's just going to try and get on out of there, but he is now trapped in the base, as he's just going to be dancing around here. The roaches coming out for both sides, and that number is just going to start to rise. We're smoothly in the mid-game roach wars that just make this matchup so difficult. Both sides just kind of powering up. Once again, Ragnarok has a really nice army supply value, but a lot of that is actually in these Lings that are now moving across the map, looking to pressure that third base of Impact. Both sides just kind of looking for an opening to get something done. Because the big thing about this matchup is you can't afford to really trade. You need to do decisive damage, otherwise you're just going to have a really hard time closing out the game. Defender's advantage is just so strong. Tunneling Claws out of Ragnarok. I really like this. If Impact is looking away, he doesn't really have any detection out on the map. So being able to get in there and just do some damage would be absolutely fantastic for him. Although I gotta say, Impact does have regular vision all over the place, and it's actually really nice spread. So he might actually just see the roaches as they burrow. Ooh, but denying the +2 for right now, that is huge. Gotta give him a little bit more of an upgrade lead. As his own +2 is finishing up right about now. And there we go, just looking for a place to hide. Although I do think Impact is sniffing blood right now, and he's actually going to just scout around for these guys. He sees the Tunneling Claws, actually. So this gamble has not paid off, as Ragnarok is going to lose a lot of roaches to this attack. Though he still does have a majority of his roaches back at home, so it's not very dire right now for him. Although Impact's army supply is just huge at this point. Be enough, the 4th base is going to go down. Although, ooh, Ragnarok does get some units in. Focusing down the queens is a very nice start. That +2 attack just really shining here. A small compadre of roaches for Impact coming in. The rest of the army meeting up as well. He does not need to fight in this choke point. And the reinforcements are actually just going to be stuck at home for right now, because they do need to clean up the roaches that are just spiraling out of control here. Keep in mind, roaches heal very fast while burrowed, so it takes a lot more energy and a lot more time to really do anything about this. And the spire is actually scouted out as well, so now Ragnarok gets a good scout. He knows what's going to be coming next, and it looks like he's just content to fight and trade out here with Impact for the time being. Although Impact, smelling a little bit of blood, has to be careful. He's taking a lot of bile shots, and I don't think this engagement was the best for him, but overall it doesn't even look to matter. I think the numbers, just pure and overwhelming, are going to push their way through here. Although Defender's Advantage will start to kick in if he's not careful, as his own roach count is starting to deviate towards the smaller side. Yeah, he's starting to get cleaned up here. So Ragnarok still having a little bit of trouble though. His units not all attacking at once, so it's making it so much more difficult for him. Upgrade being researched, so nothing delayed right now. But I think Impact has done it. He has closed out this series. Overall, just fantastic play. The Roach Ragnarok making a few too many small mistakes there, especially fighting in choke points where he could not get all of his units to attack. And GG is called. So that is going to be it for the first series of the day. Fantastic. That was awesome. And of course, after that, a fantastic series, we have another one on the way. This one, we're going to have a little bit more variation here, because we do have Busan too, so we got at least a Terran in there. yeah, TVZ is going to be epic as well. Okay, we have 2 Terrans. Innovation and Fantasy. So that is going to be fun to watch, as they are surrounded by their Zerg compatriots. So we have the potential for some very good games here. So you can see the you can see the results. 3-2 in this match. Went down to the very wire. So yeah, next matchup is coming up. It's going to be Rogue, Innovation, and True versus Sue, Fantasy, and DRG. DRG came off an amazing series yesterday where he all-killed his opponents and really secured a strong lead for his team in this standing. Remember, his team is 9-1 with +8 right now, so they have everything to play for and almost nothing to lose at this point. They can lose a couple of maps, and it not really affect them too much. So we are just going to find out what is gonna be next, because I think we're just gonna hop straight into it, and it does look like that is indeed the case. So without further ado, spawning in the top, Psystorm's True versus DRG. Now, I think you guys know True at this point. He is a very aggressive player, and DRG already going to counteract that a little bit by getting that early 12 pool. With the gas. True, however, going to be going for a bit more standard here. No gas just yet. Will he throw down the spawning pool is the big thing. And no, it actually looks like he's going to expand behind all of this. So DRG has a very good opportunity to get some damage done, especially since he's going to be adding speed into the mix as well. So yeah, Sixling is going to be coming across. This will not be scouted, as Overlords are very slow. You know, they have their own slow lanes in the carpool lane, just because you can never really know what to expect with how slow they move. If they bump into each other, no big deal. They can just go around. But DRG is actually just going to be going very aggressive with this. Has the Baneling Nest on the way as well. He's going to be going around to make sure that he can get the damage on the third base. He's actually going down for True as well, so he's in a little bit of trouble here. He still has no Lings out. He's just going full on economy build, but unfortunately that, I think, has killed him in this sense. See, now True sees 4 Lings coming across, but it's almost too late because you already have 10 in your natural mineral line, even getting the third cancelled, as he needs to pump out units. And a couple of Banelings being morphed in right on the front lines. He can just walk those straight in. The main base speed nowhere near going to be done for True, and the Banelings actually getting some really nice detonations against what little army there is. So I think DRG, it's hard to say he's won it, but yeah, I think he has absolutely done it at this point. 14 workers going down. True, just not. Oh no, that would have been an amazing hit. Little question mark going down, and DRG is going to take a very fast game number 1. That was excellent, and really shows that DRG wants to get these games done quick. It's very late in Korea right now. It's around 11 p.m. at night. So he's probably thinking, you know what, I want some late night Korean food. I want to just go out, have a good time with my friends on a Tuesday night. But yeah, he was told, no, you gotta play StarCraft. And he's just like, okay, I'll play it. 12 though. So we'll have to see who his next victim, or I mean opponent, is going to be. As remember, as I've said a couple of times here, they all kill yesterday. You gotta kind of figure out what he's going to be doing. You could send out, let's see, who would be best to send out versus him? Probably Innovation would be your best bet. I feel like that's the better choice in this situation. As Innovation is just very mechanically sound, and he will be able to kind of stop those early game shenanigans very, very well. But yeah, we're just waiting for that and the map choice as well. Once we get the map choice, we'll get right on into it. Yeah, they probably know, like they're on the screen. They probably know everything, but they're not telling us, you know? Like, they don't want us to know. We're secretly the bad guys, and they don't want to spill all the dirty, juicy secrets. So yeah, I think they're just waiting to load on in. I'm starting to stare at the screen a little bit more, so I think that does mean that we are ready to go. And then there we go. Is it gonna be just like I thought? It's Innovation. Innovation is gonna be a much tougher cookie to crack here, as he is just known as a very mechanically sound player. It just makes it so easy for him to shut down these little shenanigans that players like to do. Yeah, DRG is not even going to try it right now, just getting into that hatch. Maybe we'll throw down a pool behind it. But, yeah, we'll have to see. What is the Innovation's response going to be here? I think he can kind of assume that he's not going to get any kind of cheese coming his way. So, do you just send the Reaper out, get that scouting information, and then go on from there, or do you play it a little bit more defensive in case of something like a Baneling Nest, where you have to hold out a little bit more? We'll have to see, as we still have a little bit of time before that stage in the game. We're just going to send out this scouting SCV, which I really like. I wish more Terrans did this. It's just so important to see that there's nothing coming across the map against you. especially since you have to throw out that base on the low ground. Yep, just gets confirmation that that second base is there. Looks for the third on location, and the drone actually is moving out to take it, so Innovation will be able to delay that for the time being. I don't think he'll get the drone though. Not gonna get the Zergling either. This Reaper just trying his hardest to get everything done. But Hellions will be on the way soon, as we can, as he can kind of expect to just keep this guy out here for a little bit longer, the Reaper that is, and prevent that third base from going down, which is the important part here. Kind of slows down DRG, takes the tempo away from him, and makes it so that DRG has to adjust his build orders a little bit to account for the later building structure. Not gonna lose the Reaper just yet. Oh, that would have been a miserable loss for him right there, as the Reaper just gains so much mobility and attack power when he's coupled with the Hellions. Yeah, look at that. It's just so much easier to jump up when you know you got two flamethrowers hanging out right below the cliff. Got a Pulp Viking on the way as well, with a fast stim, so really just going to be able to deny scouting information with this Viking, and from there kind of just go for a big pressure push here. Though DRG is going to sack another Overlord just to get in and see that this is indeed the case. Like, this is very important information. Seeing that Stim is on the way really means that there are a lot of options for Innovation coming on out. And you can see he immediately throws down the Evo Chambers behind, seeing all that, which will kind of help him out because he does need the upgrades to be able to handle and keep up with the Terran player. The Hellions, however, are just still being a little bit of a nuisance. Kind of just still gearing up for some sort of push here. His Innovation. He's got the Medivacs out. He's got one tank, I believe. And that one tank is not going to be really enough support, but he's got that second one on the way. And I think he has the Medivacs. We'll have to, like, I'm not entirely sure. I can't really see too much. I don't have any of the observer tools on me. Kind of just watching the stream and seeing the same thing you guys are. But DRG actually going to get a double hatch here. It really wants to start ramping up that production, as these Hellions still a little bit of a threat, but not so much anymore. Spread going very well for DRG as well. He's just spreading that all over the place, making it difficult for Innovation to really find an attack path here. But find one he shall, as he goes across, as he starts to move across the map, and looks like he's going to set up shop. Maybe down the ramp from where he is, but DRG is just going to sense this and go straight for the third base. The Hellions Gonna micro their little hearts out, but they will get taken out through all of this. And the third base is gonna be coming under a little bit of fire. Yeah, he's just gonna sack the Zerglings here, it looks like. Very nice spread on the tanks. I really like that part. Essentially, that spread on the tanks makes it so much easier to get damage done, because once he gets on top of the other tank, if they were stacked up on top of each other, he would just be dead. But he got a couple extra shots off just because he staggered his tanks like that. The Reaper's luck is about to run out. I can feel it. A bit of a rotation here, as well as Innovation moves across the map here. One Hellbat being morphed, only to die a painful death. Got Drilling Claws on the way as well, with double factory production. He's actually going to set himself up on creep relatively nicely. He's got an escape path, and actually huge Baneley connections still go. Not Baneley connections, excuse me. Huge Widowmine connections going down on top of these units, taking out a good chunk of those gas. Now, Innovation has a very mobile force, but this is really an army that is against the clock here, because once that hive is complete, you can start getting Ultralisks and Broodlords and Infestors, and honestly, once those get out, the Marines lose a lot of value. But it minds. Getting some okay-ish shots off, not really what you'll be wanting. DRG doing a good job of kind of limiting the damage there. And he's just trying to push the creep back at this location. He doesn't really have enough to take the fight. Although he has switched back into siege tank production, so he's looking to go toe-to-toe with those Hydros at some point. Big quadruple drop. Although he does get picked off on this side of the map, his creep clearing operations not going to be so successful. I think this has been spotted at this point. Although DRG not really reacting to it. Yeah, there we go. He's bringing his whole army back to deal with it. What really do you start to pick off here? He gets the Spire, which is a really good start. He's picking off a lot of Lings, but those aren't really what you'd be wanting here. Might actually lose the Medivacs, but he doesn't really care, it looks like, as he's just going to stand and fight, keep the main army distracted as he pushes the 5th base. A little bit of a lag spike there. And yeah, he's put himself into a nice position, but he does need to get out of there before the Baneleys get on top. The Zerglings as well, but he's just dropping everywhere. That Spire has just been under fire this entire game. And look at these positions. These Lings are just having a really hard time getting surface area. Going to be focusing down the Baneling nest. He's going for it, but I don't think he'll get it as those Banelings get on top and clean that up. But 19 drones already going down. So Innovation just everywhere. And at the same time, he's just moving around so patiently, so very well. And I mean, DRG is just really struggling to keep up. It's currently 118 to 192. And that is kind of how the cookie crumbles. As the spawning pool goes away, so do the steady supply of Zerglings, which has been keeping DRG afloat in this game. Oh, he actually already has another one. But that's just going to be it. GG is called. Innovation ties the series up, and DRG will not be getting an all kill today. That was an exceptional showing of how TVZ is meant to be played. Good job to Innovation and DRG. He fought his heart out. We can still give him that, and his teammates will have to pick up where he left off. Yeah, we'll have to see what the next map is going to be here, as we don't know, we didn't know that Innovation was going to win, so it is up to team to figure it out. And let's see, who do they still have? Well, they still have a Terran player in Fantasy, but I mean, at this point, I'd say your best bet would be to send out Sue. Try again with another TVZ, as Sue's TVZ is absolutely fantastic as well. And I mean, he's known for his very, very good play. So I'd say just put your cards on the line, because if you can take out Innovation, you don't have much else to go through. And they're actually not gonna take that advice. They're gonna go for Fantasy. So it is a TVT Innovation. Oh, I gotta favor Innovation in this. Fantasy still fantastic, and I'm gonna call everyone in here fantastic because they're high-level Korean pros. And yeah, we will have to see how this game goes, as TVT can be just as kind of coin flippy. So the double gas coming down for Innovation, which does lead itself to a bit of a more aggressive style, as it does allow you to get your factory down much quicker. And Fantasy's build much. One second, guys, sorry. Yeah, there we go. We see the first divergence in these guys' build, the factor coming down. Yeah, I mean, Innovation, it's still just really hard to say what's going to be going on in this game, because, you know, anything can really happen, especially in the first couple of engagements, which can be super pivotal. Right now it's just going to be the standard Hellion Reaping. And behind the scenes, going to get his expansion on down. So the fun part is going to be when the two Reapers and a Hellion meet up, either in the center of the map or otherwise, because that does mean, like, that is one of the most important engagements you can get sometimes. But actually it's gonna be more Hellion style here, so maybe Fantasy is leaning towards a mech build. Yeah, I mean, Fantasy's just kind of playing it safe here, not really showing his hand. But Innovation should be pretty safe here. He has the Cyclone coming on out. So yeah, now it's kind of Fantasy's turn to be out on the map. He won't really get that much done here as the siege tanks are already on the way for both sides, and yeah, the Cyclone will just chase everything away, although Innovation does get in and is going to get a nice couple of pokes here on that. Does not get it though. Mule gets to live. He actually buried it to full. That is pretty funny. See, I'm trying to see a little bit more into this game here. Both sides are going to be going for bio. But the real question is, who's really going to be the first big aggression? I think we talk about ladder. On ladder, the aggressor is usually the guy who's going to be super far ahead all game, and I think that kind of stays true in a tournament setting. If you can get that aggression going, you're going to be in for a good time. And actually, we're going to see a little bit of an older strategy here. It's going to lift up and go straight to the main base. Not that much vision out on the map, and he's actually leading with a couple of the Reapers to make sure that that is the case. But ooh, he actually threads the needle. Oh, but just barely gets seen. That is going to trigger some alarm bells here for Fantasy. Yeah, he's going to move straight into the main base. The is out as well. But it does look like Innovation is going to be able to set up here. The Raven's going to be looking for the siege tanks, trying to get a good shot off on them. Ooh, this is pretty bad here for Innovation. He's actually going to get cleaned up, although he gets one extra shot off with that siege tank. Not enough to do anything. Only losing 2 workers. Just a lot of effort for not a lot of gain. It's kind of Fantasy's turn. He doesn't have a lot of energy on that Raven, but he does have enough for a couple of good positional plays here on that third base. Innovation still trying to get in. That siege tank is going to get shut down, and he's just going to sacrifice the third base. Looks like, I think that is the best choice here to kind of defend the high ground. He does get a free shot off there. Mevac does get taken out as well. And in the backfield, actually, Fantasy moving around like a god. Just finding all these little weak cheeks in the armor. And actually getting a really nice position right here. I'm very impressed with this. Although, yeah. That siege tank is actually in a pretty nice position as well. So, Innovation actually getting supply block from all this. He's just going to move across the map. Does he get it? No, he does not. Actually takes a few too many hits right there. So this does mean the reinforcements of Fantasy going to back on up. And Innovation kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Does he attack or does he not? It does look like he's just going to be moving back towards the third base for right now. And, oof. Innovation struggling a little bit in this game. Fantasy's just finding those little pockets where he can get the damage done. And Innovation is actually super broke. He's so much trouble building what he needs off only 62 workers. Big Dorito cannon gonna be coming off in this engagement. Oh my gosh, and it looked like a massacre for a little bit there, but actually Innovation is going to push on through the army supply, still in Fantasy's favor. So you can't really rest on your laurels in that fight, as you already have Fantasy's next big push moving across the map, and he's just gonna pick up everything and say, let's go. You wanted to doom drop me first? Well, I'm gonna be the last one to doom drop you. I've been trying to send a small force around to kind of give the illusion that he's not going to be doing this, but this could be game-ending damage if he can get on top of the production. Yeah, there we go. He sieges up. There is nothing. Innovation's whole army is far, far away. Production buildings go down, and he's just going to try and counter drop, but this is already scouted, this is already scanned, and I think Innovation may be in a lot of trouble here, like so much trouble. Look at that, he's even just going to get out of there. He doesn't even really care. Leaves one single Marine to finish up the work. Fourth base is going to be under fire once again, as Fantasy's own fourth base is in good shape. 10 more workers going down, and oh, this is just going from bad to worse for Innovation. Although if he can get in this main base, he can do something. And that's all he's looking for right now. Very aggressive. Gets on top of the production, looking to do something else, and a lot of workers going down. So I think he's gotten the counter damage he needs, and now he's actually going to be moving in the whole army, just trying to get into position as Fantasy, but his own SimCity is just not the best for him. He will be able to clean this up, but it's going to be very expensive, as his third base is going to go under fire as well. Still took him way too long to clean that up. And Innovation, he's just got to focus fire that third base. Fantasy says, now I gotta go. So these guys are just so aggressive. I love it. It's fantastic. Currently Fantasy still has the army supply lead, and he's kind of gotten this nice position, and he will be taking out the third of Innovation as well, but I mean, at what cost are both of these guys fighting? 21 workers going down, and 3 on the other side, just because, you know? This is just a scrappy game. You didn't even get all the workers that were hiding right there. Oh my gosh. Now that fourth base is up, like that could come back to bite him in the butt. It seems like Doom Drop is just the way to go here. Fantasy doesn't have a lot of production left, it looks like. And I mean, to his credit, neither does Innovation. Look at that. They're just both going to pick up once again. And gotta be careful though. if this gets spotted. Yeah, so both of these guys are just going to camp the production. Once again, neither side is going to really be able to replenish these forces, so every unit counts at this point forward. Now, Innovation has a lot more Marines here, but just a couple of tank volleys is enough to fix that. I'd say, why are you even trying to fight for this position? You don't even need to lift up, you just need to get out of there. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's just going to pick up and go for the newly lifted 4th base. Maybe even take that out. Excuse me one sec, guys. But yeah, both. It's just so hard to call. Like, Fantasy does have a lot less supply right now. But there is still a lot of potential here for moving around. Just the mobility is the only reason I don't say look at the supply right now. But with this army getting absolutely ravaged, although he did lose the Liberators, that would have been the nicest pickup ever. But neither side really mining off of this, and Innovation's supply has plummeted as well. They're just broke. Fantasy's not mining right now. Innovation's mining very little. And honestly, the biggest thing is Fantasy still has A base, and B, a lot of siege tanks. He's got those 4 right there, making it a lot easier for him to kind of stick around. We're in a full-on base trade, ladies and gentlemen. So now it does look like Innovation just wants to come in for the sandwich. He feels like if he can kill off this army, that's going to be it. He doesn't think that Fantasy has too much more in the chamber here. Which, I mean, he doesn't really have a lot, but he's just going to look to break it right now before anything can happen. And Fantasy has lost his entire army down to these 6 Marines as his whole basis. That's actually going to be it. Innovation. GG. Now he just has one more hurdle to face. He's got to get through Sue, and I can tell you right now, Sue is going to be out for blood. So, we know the players, we know the matchup, now we just need the map. There's a lot of options that Sue can go for here, as we've only played roughly 3 games so far, and I'm excited. You know, Innovation versus Sue is one of those matchups where you just can't help but want to watch every single second of it. Just gonna turn down my ears a little bit. Yeah, it looks like they're deliberating it a little bit more. Like, this is always kind of the little hard part in between the games where you're just like, I want it now. Just really excited for this game to start. But while we're waiting for this game to start, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in right now. This is the BJ Destruction League Day 5. You can tune in tomorrow for Day 6 as well. And then there's a little bit of a break because of BlizzCon opening week and such. So comes back the week after on the 6th, I believe, which gives everyone plenty of time to refresh, relax, watch the VODs, check out everything that's going on with this. It's not a huge prize pool. It's roughly 4,000 something dollars, 5 million won, and you know, that's still a good chunk of money for people that are like in the BlizzCon blues, because a lot of these guys, you know, did not make it to the BlizzCon Final 16. But let's talk about these guys. It's Innovation and Sue. So Sue, obviously known for his second place finishes, but he is no one's second banana, especially not in this game. Innovation, you know, he's had to bring it back for his entire team. He's had to beat DRG. He's had to take out Fantasy. He does still have a lifeline in his last teammate of Rogue, but you really don't want to get to the point where it's another ZVZ, because just like TVT, it's so coin flippy. So roughly we're going to see pretty standard builds out of both sides. Just going to try and get a little damage done. Not really damage even, just a little scouting done with the Reaper. And you know, from there kind of just go into a pretty easy to follow build. You know, these are the kind of things that you can follow along at home and come out great in your ladder games. One of the best things you can do is kind of just watch these players when they're doing these online cups, because when they're doing tournament plays, you're going to see crazy stuff that you've never seen before, and they're going to go balls to the wall, very aggressive, very crazy, to beat their opponents in the series. But in these smaller cups, they just play standard. They just play the builds you're going to see on ladder, and it's really good practice to kind of just get familiar with the builds that they're doing. This is great for Sue. He's delayed the base for a little bit, just a small time, and might actually get the SEV as well. Focusing down the Marine, but yeah, this is actually huge. Innovation. Big misstep by allowing that SCV to die. And look at this, he's still killing off SCVs without losing these super heavily damaged things. Fantastic. Losing 3 workers this early on and forcing the Reaper back home. That is amazing damage. Sue off to a fantastic start here. Yeah, just looking at that chart, it's very clear that that was a very acceptable trade. So he even gets to throw down third base unmolested. Hellions, though, going to be coming in here as the Reaper served as a distraction. Good split. Has to be careful not to get fully surrounded. But to no dice, it does look like the Hellions will go down. After getting 6 workers, though, that wasn't the worst trade in the world. Actually puts it into... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Stream's getting a little laggy. Sorry about that, guys. Change the resolution, see if that helps a little bit. Bear with me, guys. We're gonna fix it. We're getting back into it. promise we'll get back into it. Just need to get off the screen for a second so I can fix it. There we go. Alright, back into it. Just as this Liberator is going to get some massive kills before going down in the main base. Caught it at the perfect time. But those look like there's a lot of Hellions, but he's not going for mech. He's got the barracks and stim started up behind it. And he's even got another Liberator just coming on in. So trying to hit at multiple points at once. This is what Innovation is good at. Just picking your opponent apart through mechanical play. Like if he was able to get in there, those drones are just so lined up, and that would be like really good damage. But so far the Queens are doing a good job of keeping those Hellions out. Liberator just gonna siege up and play it safe. He's still, like, Innovation is just out on the map. There's not really an army for Su right now. It's just a couple of rings, so he can't really fight this. And, I mean, behind all of this, he's gearing up for an attack with Siege Tanks. Got a really nice position right there on Disco Bloodbath, where the rocks, you can kind of see where the Queens were, to the right of them. That's a good position to set up because you'll be able to shell with impunity. Yeah, he takes his own third base. He's going to saturate that pretty quickly here. Not that bad of a spread in terms of worker supply, you know. It's 59 to 66. I'm sure Su really would like more at this point, but he did take some losses. Although he does get a very good read on this right now, as he's going to be breaking down the rocks on that position. He knows that he really doesn't want that position to be open. We'll just start kind of tickling the base as Su setting up for that counterattack. Coming right on around, and he will get some damage done, but Innovation just going to get straight on out of there. Hellions going to be moving in. Oh, they might get picked off as well. Dropping the Marines, though, so smart. Forcing those Banelings to detonate. Just making sure Su can't pay attention. That was amazing. It's just these little things. He's pushing himself ahead through really smart, innovative plays. Although he does need to kill that Overlord. And he is going to get it. Unit count, though. That's the problem. You only have one missile turret. Nothing in the main base just yet. Can't really afford one either. So you're going to have to rely on these reinforcements to get on top of things. The Mulas just have so much room to roam here. And Su, I doubt will be losing any of these anytime soon. Even when those Thors are out, it's going to be a tough challenge for him. But Innovation is still doing his due diligence, making sure that he's keeping that creep back at least in one location so that he can continuously push it. This is a very Wings of Liberty-esque build. He's got the drilling, like he's got the Marines, Widow Mines, Medevacs, a couple Marauders mixed in as well, and the Thors to hold everything up, getting the Queen with him. I love it. But great splits on the Zerglings, making sure that he doesn't lose too many of them to Widowmine fire. Behind this Innovation, he's just going to start slowly bleeding out units if he's not careful. So he does need to be very cautious about where he takes these fights. Banelings detonating on the Marauders, that is definitely not what you want here. Although he does cut himself off from the rest of his army, that is not good. And the Marines actually going to be moving on around. That's just free pickoffs here for Sue. Big mistake out of innovation, honestly. He's lost a lot of the momentum with that push. Doesn't really have any more Thors here. He only has the one. And that muta count is just slowly rising. Fourth base still under fire, but Innovation's own fourth is going to be going down as well. He needs to be paying attention to that. But that was just a distraction for Sue to get on top of the store, but it does get saved. And the push is actually still alive here. Oh, amazing hit. Just non-stop action. A little bit of stream lag. I apologize for that, guys. But we're keeping things rolling. Just Innovation continuously pressing the attack, continuously just trying to keep the units of Sue down, forcing him to remake those expensive units. Well, they're not expensive, but they are super expensive when you want to go up to layers or hive tech anytime soon. And right now, Sue really can't afford to do that, as he's continuously just having to pump out units. Fourth base on the left did survive, by the way. Thor's gonna get some really juicy shots off. The split's very good from Innovation, but he will get cleaned up as well. So you have to be careful, because 2 Widow Mines just went off and took a big chunk of your army with them. So now it's up to Sue to realize that he can't really push into this anymore. Innovation's economy is still fantastic because of the mules as well. So he's not hurting for income anytime soon by losing some of those SCVs like he did. Yeah, Hive is complete. Gonna be getting that adrenal glands. The Muta's just gonna be annoying once again. This is a huge Widow Mine field here right now. You have to be so careful as Sue, and I love how little he's pulling away to detonate the mines. But he will start to clean this up. Yeah, I feel like Innovation is the one kind of stuck on this army right now, because he's not really been able to keep that unit count low of Sue. And Sue's might just hit critical mass here. As you can see, he's peeling off a lot to take this fight. Will it be enough? It looks like for right now it is, and he will clean up the army of Innovation. The supply, though, still relatively even, as it does look like Innovation tried to do a bit of a drop. Most of Innovation's army supply, I think, is in those medevacs, and he just has so many of them. Yeah, these Mios still just being in enormous pain. picking off a lot of very expensive units. And Innovation is going to try and drop, but he realizes that that is a terrible idea. So I think Innovation is the one making the most missteps here. And unfortunately, that actually might just cost him another army. Although he is trading relatively decently. Even the Thor getting some really juicy shots off on the Mulisks, dropping that number. And once again, attacking on multiple fronts, but there is more than enough Banelings to defend. And the 5th base of Innovation is also going to go out as Su's supply starts to rise. Actually, Su does not take care of that base. Yuta's out of position, so he's actually going to be able to get out of here. Maybe a couple more shots off. But once again, Innovation loses a lot of his army supply, but he already has the next one ready to go. But it just looks so tiny. All things considered, like, this is not an army you want to fight a bunch of links with. His production as well just keeps getting hit by the Mulisks. Oh man, if they fly 2 inches to the left, they're going to see these medevacs. He did have to float his main base as well. That did Innovation. His economy, though, is astounding because of those mules. And I do like how he's continuing to push, but the problem is it's really a disjointed push, I feel. Overall, he just doesn't have his whole army here, and it's really making him struggle to take these engagements. Yeah, look at this. Once again, the Thor is just caught out. He's going to lose some more expensive units. He's going to get a base, but, I mean, do you really care about that base as Su? Because he's going to get one of his own and might actually get this second one as well. Doesn't even care about losing the Mulisks either. 17 workers going down, you're going to need a lot more than just mules to deal with that. And the Widowmine's getting taken out before they can even get a shot off. There, Su just backs on up. And even then, Innovation's still trying to make this work. It's only got Marauders and Marines at this point versus an unstoppable wave of Zerg. Look at that, even using the medevacs against them. I think Su is starting to push ahead. There's very little mining left for Innovation. That once great economy is now in shambles. Does get some good Widowmine shots to kind of try and even it up, but I mean, okay, this is actually the moves he needs to do. He needs to deny the mining of Su, but unfortunately, every time he splits off units, it becomes that much more difficult to re-engage. Get the base, maybe. To get a lot of Zerglings, though, I gotta say, that's nice. You know, I still like Innovation. I still like Innovation right now. He's doing really the moves he feels like he needs to make. Unfortunately, Su is kind of just countering those moves relatively tax-free here. Though Innovation just keeps pushing and pushing. I'm sure Su is getting worn out at this point as Innovation has another base. His economy is back to life. Su's just only now kind of restructuring. One Widowmine takes out what he needs to. And some huge shots going off, taking out all of the Zergling support. These Ultralisks gonna have to be kited for a long time. But he will get the base. This is, again, just another super scrappy game. They're just really not pulling their punches here. And we do have Infestors on the way. I think that's going to start to tip the tides in Suu's favor once again, as his army supply, not the best right now, but it's starting to get higher and higher. Not much mining left for Suu, however. Using the Ultralisk to bait the Widowmine shots into this army. And the transfuses. Oh no, this is just Marines. You got the fungals almost ready to go. Oh, innovation. I love what he's doing. I love how aggressive he is. It's just he's running out of steam. Mutalisk's gonna be looking for damage, and they're not even gonna find a base right now. Getting the drones is pretty nice. Losing all your SCVs, not as nice. He's not even scanning because he needs all the money he can get. Big fungal. Actually gonna get a lot of Widowmine shots on himself. And the Mutalisk's gonna start cleaning up the Medivacs, and that's really the last remnants of Innovation's army. And Suu is still powering strong. I take it back. Yeah, Innovation's supply just keeps dropping again and again and again. And every single time it drops, it never gets back to the level it was. It's literally just the mules keeping him alive at this point. The Widowmines, you can't even say the Widowmines are helping him here. I think they've done the most damage to this army. He's fighting it out to the end, though. Like, he's a trooper. Gotta give him that. Like, he sees an opening to win. He's gonna take it. He's not gonna just give up. And as I say that, he gives up. Fantastic game. And Suu ties it up. We're going to another 5th match. Ace. It's gonna be Suu versus Rogue. A ZVZ. I don't know about you guys, but I am expecting something fun to watch here. Checking everything up. So yeah, it is gonna be that ZVZ versus Rogue, 2 of the best Zerg players in the world, and I would expect nothing less than something cheeky to end this long day for these players. May have only been one best of 5 for them, but you know what? One best of 5 can feel like a lifetime when you're waiting for your opponents. Just watching the games. Speaking of waiting on the game, we're just holding out for a little bit longer while we get these two guys in the lobby, and good to go. Hope you guys are enjoying this series as much as I am. It's been an epic day so far. I think tomorrow we're gonna have a lot earlier games, from what I understand. I don't know why it was pushed back today, but for some reason it was pushed back today, and tomorrow it's gonna go back to 6 p.m. EDT for all the English speakers. We'll try and keep you updated on that, as will be hosted on this channel once again. I will not be hosting it, but one of the wonderful people at Alpha X SE2 will take command. And speaking about taking command, we have Sue up here bringing his team back from the brink of extinction, and his opponent Rogue, who is also fighting off extinction. So, it doesn't look like we're going to get the cheeky start that I was expecting out of these guys. I feel like both of them have just really solid ZVZ, so they're not going to rely on that kind of thing, I guess. But, you know, there's still an opportunity for some sort of all-in, some semblance of something like that. We'll just have to keep an eye out for the drone count and what's going on behind the scenes. Little bit of lag on the stream. I apologize for that, guys. I have absolutely no control over their stream. Yeah, it's actually lagging out a lot. Hopefully it's just on the stream's end and not on my end. There's not really much I can do to troubleshoot that right now. But yeah, looks like right now we're just going to get the kind of scouting you would expect. The Overlord is going to see if there's a second base, and if there's not, you start panicking. But since they do, they only mildly panic because, you know, they look exactly like you. How are you supposed to tell them apart? Just because they're painted blue or painted red doesn't really mean it's easy to tell them apart, especially since Thunderbird is super blue. Like, it's almost a hurt my eyes blue. And there we go, we do see a very early bailing list out of Rogue that kind of symbolizes that he might want to be getting aggressive here. That third could be a feint. We'll have to see how many lings he decides to make up. And look at this, he's playing Ring Around the Rosie. Looks like Sue's gonna get the better end of that deal. Oh, still kind of powering up on his workers. It does look like Sue, however, is getting a bit impatient and rallying out a ton of lings on his own. This is spotted, however, by those diligent overlords, so the wall will be started by Rogue, and he'll get some defensive banelings at home. The third base going to be under fire, and this queen will most likely go down. Actually losing both of the queens, that's going to make the wall not actually effective here. Why you cut out the stream? This is the important part. No. I can't even get out of it. 1 second, guys. Get back into it. There we go. Alright, didn't miss too much. He did save his third base. I lost a lot of lings, it looks like. I guess the banelings did get some amazing connections. But we do see that it's going to be Spire and Roach Tech out of Sue. So he's going to be probably throwing down a couple of mutas just to be a harassment and kind of force an overreaction. And then from there, just pump out roaches and get to the next stage. But for right now, it does look like he's going to take some amazing connections on Rogue's units. The banelings just doing amazing work there. Really good start to this fight, as he will be able to maintain map presence as Rogue has to retreat to the safety of his own abode. +1 attack, gonna be finishing up for Rogue as well. And yeah, not much else to say here. He has the army supply value because Sue is really banking to save up for those Mutalisks. But for right now, it's kind of hindering him. If Rogue decided to go across the map, it makes it that much harder to get in. To try and pick off the roaches. No dice, and this is the first time that Rogue sees that there is indeed a Spire. And what's his reaction going to be? Is he going to throw down spores at every base? Right now, he's just making more queens, so he's looking for more mobile, like, deflection of those Mutalisks. We're getting a fast infestation pit as well. Couple of overlords for pretty much free. That is a very good start to this. Supply blocks Rogue for the time being, and now they can just wreak havoc on these mineral lines, because I don't think the spores are in the best position to cover everything. We even have a Nidus coming down behind all of this. So Sue, with just a massive amount of mind games, Rogue is going to be going for a Lurker Den. He kind of suspects something is up. And I think he did just see that Nidus Worm. So now he knows he needs to deny vision wherever possible. So he's not really going to give him the time. Going to be hitting in multiple locations at once. The Nidus Worm goes down in the main base. The Mutalisks hitting the natural, trying to force the queens back out of position. Going to work very well in that front. Already 2 workers going down on that gas. And here we go. The Nidus pops and the roaches spew forth. I think Sue is starting to take a commanding presence in this game. And he will get out of there with all the roaches, which is nice as well. He's going to trade a little bit, but he's also going to be attacking the third base. Rogue does have a lot of units there, so he won't be caught off guard from there. But look at this. He's got the Nidus in the third base now, picking off even more workers. As long as he's got that Overseer there, there's nothing you could really do as Rogue, and you can't really hit that Overseer. You have to keep units home to prevent the Nidus Worm from spawning. Taking some big biles here. The Lurkers making it a little bit easier for him to hold on to this. But Sue is doing a really good job of fighting around them. Even forcing the micro. He will lose his entire arm. He will lose his army here. But he has another Nidus Worm in the third base. Wow, Sue is just all over the place, and it's fantastic to watch. And getting more workers, just just sacking the Mutalisks for a couple extra drones at the 4th. Like, I don't want to call it for Rogue just yet because he does have those lurkers, and that does mean that he's not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. But it's just getting so hard, I feel, to kind of deal with everything that Sue is throwing at him. Well, this is a big push, and looks like Sue was a little bit unprepared for it. The lurkers getting a whiff of the bile, but not enough to stop them. And actually going to get them set up in a really nice position. The Mutalisks, the only thing killing them off, and there's not really doing a good job of it. I think Rogue may have done it with this push. Like I was saying, Sue was just all over the place, but at the end of the day, like, Rogue managed to hit that special timing. Wow. So Sue was just trying to get a little bit too fancy, and Rogue just played it by the book, and he was able to finish it. Gee, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Sorry I ever doubted him. But I mean, those were 2 excellent series of the night, and that is actually going to be it for us here. I'm kind of waiting to see if they throw up some information on the screen, because I do want you guys to know about the upcoming days, just to make sure that you are aware that this is not the end of the tournament. They still have many different chances to beat the living heck out of each other. And yeah, once they give us that information, I will put it up on screen. Yeah, these guys wearing their awesome suits, as well as super professional. Yeah, while we're waiting for that kind of information, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in for the day. I think, like, it always means a lot. And here we go. Just some of that information coming up. Match 2, another 3-2 victory. This time it is for Rogue and Innovations team. True's there too. Yeah, that was just solid play out of everyone. A lot of Zergs today. And now you can check this out at 7 p.m. tomorrow on the 23rd. Now that is KST, so you'll have to convert that to your time zones. We're going to have Maru, Cure, and Creator take on Trap, Bunny, and Alive. And then after that, Rogue, Innovation, and True come on back to deal with Ragnarok, Patience, and Super. So those are going to be 2 excellent matches to watch, and I think you guys are going to agree with me there. So that is going to be it for us here. I'm just going to end the stream a little bit early because we got the information we needed. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you at the next big event. See you guys later.